for further consideration of the Royal Society of New Zealand Amendment Bill is resumed. And when the House rose for the dinner adjournment, we were on Clause 10. Grant Robertson had the call, and there's just under 2 minutes remaining.
Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. When the House rose, we were discussing Clause 10 of the bill, which is around what happens with companions of the Royal Society, a class of membership of the Royal Society devoted to people who have achieved eminence in the promotion or encouragement of science and technology. And with the change being made in Clause 10, this will include people both in the science and technology area and also the humanities. And as we rose, I was just giving some examples for the House of the kinds of people who are companions of the Royal Society, to give them the House an idea of the roles that these people have played. So this is different from pure scientists. These are people who have promoted and advanced science, particularly in education. So we were discussing Helen Anderson, the recently finished chair of the, chief executive of the Ministry of Research, Science and Technology. Margaret Austin, former member of this Parliament and MP. Chester Burrows is right. She was a very nice person. That's what I'm sure Mr. Burrows just said. And she has had a role in education and in science, been on the council of Lincoln University for a significant amount of time. Bob Brocky, who residents of Wellington will be very familiar as writing in the Dominion Post on a regular basis on the subject of science and ethics. So a number of people, Len Cook, the former chief statistician. These are the kinds of people. Jean Fleming from the Centre for Science Communication at Otago University, and also, I think if I'm right, a member of the Royal Commission on Genetic Modification as well. So people who played a role in educating the public about science, they are those who are Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. They are the people who are considered for the role of companion of the Royal Society. I'll just name one more person now, and if people are interested, I'm happy to talk further about other companions of the Royal Society. But one person who's been made a companion of the Royal Society is Kim Hill, the broadcaster, and that's as a result of the work that she's done in the area of science, which began, a lot of that began in the conversations she had with Sir Paul Callaghan on her radio show, and they were a way that a lot of New Zealanders became familiar with science and scientific concepts in a way that they could understand, and Kim Hill has done a lot of work with the Royal Society over recent years in helping to promote science. So she is a companion of the Royal Society. So under Clause 10, the section of the Act that currently deals with companions, which is Section 12 of the current Act, is being changed reasonably significantly. And the main thing that's been done is that Section 12, Clause 1 of the Act as it stands says that the Council may from time to time elect as a companion any person who, in the opinion of the Council, has achieved a high level of eminence in the promotion or encouragement of science and technology. That has now been replaced and changed for two reasons. The first of those is to include humanities, which is obviously the main purpose of the bill that's in front of us. So the new Section 12.1 will read the Council, and the Council being referred to here is obviously the Council of the Royal Society, the governing body of the Royal Society. The Council may from time to time elect as a companion any person who, in the opinion of the Council, has A, shown outstanding leadership in science, technology or the humanities, or B, made eminent or sustained contributions to the promotion and advancement in New Zealand of science, technology or the humanities. So they're really clarifying what it is to be a companion of the Royal Society, and that's to have shown leadership, and I think we had the example there of Helen Anderson, who's obviously a person who's shown a great deal of leadership in the science sector, or made sustained contributions to the promotion and advancement. And I guess Kim Hill would probably fall into the latter category. So I actually think Clause 10 here makes a reasonably, like a major change to the wording, but what it actually is doing is clarifying the kinds of people who will become companions of the Royal Society. And it's a status of membership that I think is important to the way in which science and scientists interact with the community, because we've seen previously in the clauses we've been debating fellows, and obviously fellows of the Royal Society, as Kelvin Davis said, not to be confused with fellas, which was an important distinction for Mr. Quinn. Fellows of the Royal Society are the most eminent scientists and social scientists and practitioners in the humanities now Those who are companions are people who are similarly eminent but working in promoting and advancing science. So this was a very important change made in the 1997 version of this Act. That's when companions were created within the Act, so it was a reasonably recent change, and the kinds of people who are there I think are reflective of the important role that science has in our community, in education, and in the wider debate we have about issues like ethics and how science can advance both the economic growth of New Zealand but also the social and environmental situation that we find ourselves in. So Mr Chair, I've taken a bit of time over it, but I do think it's important to outline the way in which companions are now to be recognised. Just so members know, there are some other references to companions in the Act itself. So we now have the altered clause 12.1, which is here in clause 10, and then also the companion, it's noted in the Act that a companion is entitled to use in connection with his or her name either A, the letters CRSNZ, Companion of the Royal Society of New Zealand, or such other letters or titles that might be decided from time to time by the Council. So it's sufficiently important, Mr Chair, to be able to be used as letters after a name. I think whenever people involved in the sciences and now the humanities see FRSNZ after a name, they know that that's a fellow and a person of esteem in the science community. We now have, in addition to that, the ability to be able to say a companion, somebody who has contributed to assisting people's understanding of science in our community, and I think that's an excellent thing, and this clause, I believe, clarifies who those people will be, and it's something that all of us should be very pleased to be able to support tonight.